Welcome to Going for the Green. I'm Brad Thomas here with Denny Carter, and we are here, the culmination of the golf season. Yes, that is right. The Tour Championship at East Lake. The winner, the FedEx Cup champion, will be crowned come Sunday night, hopefully, barring no rain delay. Denny, how's it going for you, man? Are you excited from a DFS perspective to get into this tournament?
The staggered scoring system really throws a wrench into how you value these guys, and it does give you some major FOMO when you start to fade the upper tier players. But it makes it a little more fun, a little more interesting. I would say chaotic, Brad.
Pure chaos. For those who don't know what Denny was referencing, the golfers will start in a staggered start, which means they'll get an odds advantage or a handicap depending on where they're ranking in the FedEx Cup. So basically, I'll just go through a couple golfers. Scotty Scheffler is going to start at 10 under, Xander at 8 under, Hideki at 7 under, Keegan at 6, Ludwig at 5, and then we have a group of Rory, Morikawa, Clark, Burns, Cantlay, all starting at 4 under. I'm not going further down the list because the only golfer outside of Rory McIlroy, no one's won this at 3 under or worse. So you're thinking about any of those guys I just named have a realistic chance. Before I get into my golfer, I want to let you know, course history here has been pretty important, but last year they did a intensive renovation of this golf course. It's going to be very different, right? They even changed the greens to Bermuda. They changed some of the cuts of the holes. They moved holes. They lengthened the course. They changed it from a par 70 to a par 71. So it's going to be drastically different with still some of the similar sight lines while some have changed. Naturally, I probably would have just gone ahead and take Xander win this whole thing. I think he's the most well-rounded golfer in the course. In the field, excuse me, and he's played really well at this course, but the odds just didn't entice me. I'm actually going to take a different market for all three of my bets in this event. I'm going to take what's called winner without strokes. So it doesn't matter where their starting position is. It's just the low 72 hole score out of my guys that I select doesn't matter. And I'm going to start things off with a guy you guys have seen me bet quite frequently now in these past couple weeks, and that's Mr. Wyndham Clark. I'm going to Wyndham Clark here. He did let me down at the BMW Championship, losing 4 strokes on approach, but honestly, he lost about 5 of those in the first round. He's putting together a pretty good profile since the U.S. Open. He's finished T9 at Travelers, T10 at the Scottish Open, T7 at St. Jude's. But what's important about Wyndham Clark is it's just been a slow starter. Each of his round ones have been pretty poor, and then he's kind of mounted his comeback. With this being a no-cut event, I think Wyndham Clark is someone that should be considered at this price. It's also really important to note that I had a couple of parallels. A lot of the TPC courses, PGA National, a lot of those good, difficult ball-striking Bermuda courses, Wyndham Clark plays them all pretty well, right? If we remember him playing really tough against Scotty Scheffler, almost went to the playoff at TPC Sawgrass there for the Players Championship. So Wyndham Clark, if he can put it all together, just one tournament, I think he can have the low 72 score, and at 26 to 1, I think that's a pretty good price.
The home cooking didn't work for Wyndham Clark last week in Colorado, but it might work. He might ship some of it here to where are they playing? Florida?
They're playing in Atlanta in East Lake.
Atlanta, and we'll see how he does. My high price guy for DFS this week is going to be the aforementioned Xander Schauffele. Look, this is partly based on rostership because I believe Xander is going to have significantly lower rostership than Scotty Scheffler, who again starts at 10 under. Xander starts just 2 strokes back of Scheffler. And we saw some, I don't know, chinks in the armor of Scotty Scheffler last week for the first time in maybe ever. He lost strokes on the green in the 4 of his past 5 outings. He lost strokes on approach last week, Brad, for the first time since, I looked it up, since August 2022. So this is quite the thing. Headline grabbing material that Scotty Scheffler was not great on approach last week. So I think Xander's in a good spot here for several reasons. He's second best in this field on approaches from over 200 yards. That's measured over the past 30 rounds. And, look, we want guys hitting the fairway here. Okay. This is the eighth toughest course as far as hitting the fairway goes. The adjusted fairway rate is like 62%. Very tough stuff. The rough is very penal. Xander's only hitting the fairway at 62% clip. That makes me a little nervous, but I think that just the rostership numbers say we should consider Xander over Scotty.
Chink in the armor, you called it there for Scotty Scheffler. It's important to realize that Scotty Scheffler has lost strokes on the putting surface in 4 of his last 6 events. Not a good sign, because when Scotty started to go on that crazy run, which started at API, he literally just was putting everything. Literally went on a run of like 8 tournaments where he gained strokes. I'm going to go with another really good Bermuda player here. One of the better Bermuda putters on tour, and that's Mr. Sam Burns. My guy, Sam Burns. I think I said something about Sam Burns and a baby. And if you look at like his course stats, his tour stats, during that time of strokes gained, home life, toughness, he didn't perform well. But now it's starting to come together, right? Like T12 at the 3M Open, T5 at the FedEx St. Jude's, T2 at the BMW Championship. And 2 of those events, he was losing strokes on off the tee. I think he can put that together. Of course, that's going to play a little bit, I don't want to say a little bit easier, that's not the right way, but a little bit better for his sight line is a course like this. It's funny. I really do think this course is going to play well for those really good ball strikers. There's a stat that you should kind of remember here. No golfer has won this tournament without leading the field in strokes gained off the tee. So Burns will have to do well off the tee. But like I said, this is going to play a little bit better than trying to gain strokes off the tee where there's water everywhere in Colorado in the altitude. Now he's back at altitude playing at a course that he's familiar with. So I like Sam Burns to win without the strokes. Again, that is the low 72 hole score.
Burns, the hottest putter on tour over the past few weeks. So he has that going for him. My mid-price player for this week on DraftKings is going to be Tommy Fleetwood. And it's mostly based on Fleetwood's unbelievable ability to hit the fairway. Over the past 24 rounds, Tommy has hit I call him Tommy because I know him personally. Tommy has hit the fairway at a 75% clip. It's really strong. It leads the field by a good margin here among these 30 players. You got to do that to score here. You just have to hit. You have to hit the fairway. Not the longest guy, of course, but we can't be too picky here. He starts, by the way, Tommy Fleetwood starts at 1 under, 9 strokes off the lead. Again, it's going to be hard to like stomach some of these mid-range and low price picks because of how far they start off. But you're not looking for Tommy Fleetwood to win this tournament. Like you said, Brad. History suggests that he has no chance. But he is a very hot coming into this thing. He was a silver medalist at the Olympics, top 20 at the FedEx St. Jude event, and he was 5th last week at BMW. He's 4th in ball striking among players at this event over the past 3 months. It just everything lines up for if Tommy Fleetwood can putt okay, I think he can make a run into maybe the top 5 here.
Good news for you. Whenever I bet on Tommy Fleetwood, he forgets how to play golf. And I didn't bet on Tommy Fleetwood this week, so I think you're in the clear.
Well, that's my process.
In all seriousness, though, Tommy Fleetwood is one of the better golfers when he's not in contention. I don't know what it is, but history serves him correctly.
Yeah.
When he has no chance, he's out there like 62, 63.
I feel like Tommy may not have that dog in him. I will have to see this week.
He'll have a dog check this week. I'm going to go with Mr. Shane Lowry. Winner without strokes again, 50-1. And this is only drawn from the parallels that I've thought about at this course. The first course, I said the TPC courses, but let me get a little bit more exact, right? More of ball striker paradise that has about 6 to 8 holes with water in play. Extra reward for strokes gained off the tee and hitting fairways. And then the further away you get from the fairway, the more trouble you're in. What courses come to mind? Bermuda. I think I got to think about Bay Hill and PGA National, the Bear Trap. There's no golfer in this world outside of Rory McIlroy who plays those 2 courses better than Mr. Shane Lowry. So if the course stickiness is such a thing, I think Shane Lowry stands a really good chance. I mean, he doesn't have to actually win the tournament. He just has to go out there and post 4 really good rounds.
That's right. Hopefully he remembers how to putt this week.
Yes.
He does kind of fluctuate between completely being lost on the green. Not as lost as Adam Scott was last week, by the way.
Oh my God.
It's been a long time since I've seen a pro golfer have zero confidence over a 3-foot putt like we saw Adam Scott struggling with. All right, I'm going to give you my low price play. Tom Hoge is listed at 6,100 on DraftKings. Only Matthew Pavon is cheaper. So we're getting crazy here. We're going real low. And look, when you're a golf tout and you can tout the worst putter in the field, you got to do it. And that's what I'm doing here with Tom Hoge. By almost every metric, this guy is the worst putter of these 30. It's between him and Thigala, actually. But his irons are on fire, Brad. Tom Hoge is 4th among players in this field in proximity to the pin from the fairway. No one has gained more strokes on approach in this field over the past 30 rounds. You talked about a ball striker's paradise. This guy is striping it. Tom, if you're listening, if you can make a few putts, I think that you can do some pretty cool things here on this course.
Yeah, Tom Hoge. Oh, man. Tom Hoge is the silent assassin. You feel like he always puts up these really good tournament and these good stat profiles, but no one ever really talks about him, and he's not winning. But a good choice there at his price. Listen, Denny, it's been a fun golf season. Lots of wins, lots of money made, and lots of smiles. I appreciate you and everyone who's taking the time to listen to Going for the Green. For Denny Carter, I'm Brad Thomas. Have a good tournament and a good offseason.